In this video, we're going to talk about adding a domain into Constellix. And we're going to show many of the different ways that you can do this. There's some advanced options, there's some simple options. We'll try to go through them all real quickly. So the first thing you do is you want to log into Constellix. That's always very helpful to get into any application to log in. We have multiple ways: two-factor authentication, SAML, SSO, whatever your organization requires. But once you are logged in, you get to the main dashboard as we see here. And now there's two options. Number one, you can use the new domain wizard, which will kind of step you through and let you get your records into your domain. And this is really more for the novice users that are trying to set things up. So we go through this process real quickly. We're gonna do a lot of tests here. So I'll do test1.com. And I can actually begin a scan. So it's gonna do a lot of queries against my current name servers, my current domain, and find out where are the MX records, where's the www record, where's the root record, the txt records, and some of the basic records that we're gonna look for. It's not gonna catch everything though. And then the option two is to go through a wizard. And in the wizard option, it's gonna allow you to actually answer questions to configure your first set of records for you. So both of these options are really for more the novice user. They're more for the I'm just learning how to use DNS user, which is good for probably 99.9% of all domains out there. So I'm going to go through them real quickly. So if I did test1.com, let me actually do a domain here that we I'll put our sister service, DNS Made Easy, in here, and I'll say begin scan. And it already exists in the system, so obviously you cannot add a domain twice. So let's try that again. Let me do dnsmadeeasy.org and begin scan. So what's it's going to do? It's going to say, okay, we went through the whole entire thing and we noticed there's one MX record and there's one A record. Not the best example. So we can go through another one. Let's do our parent company. Tiki.com's in there, so we can do tiki.net, for instance, and we can do a begin scan, and it's going to go through the same thing. It's going to find out all the necessary records it needs to perform in order to get your basic domain configured. And it says, okay, we found that there's a www record. It points to these IPs. We found that there's MX records. We found there's a TXT record, right? So it kind of gets you up and going. It's not going to find every single host name you have for your domain. It's not designed for that. It's just designed to get some sort of base template records in there. Now, if we were to do the actual wizard option, that's another idea we can do. So you can say, okay, what services do I currently use? Do I use Google Apps? Do I use Blogger, Mailgun, etc.? You can go through all these and you can add these, and these will add the necessary records for you that are pretty standard in the industry. The next step you can go into is, does your domain have a website? And it walks you through this process. You say yes. And if you do, you can actually say what's the FQDN or what's the IP address of your website. So I can put in, once again, don't put in these IPs that I'm giving you. Every time I do offer a video demo, our users actually take it literally and will type the exact same domain names and IP addresses that we provide in the demos, expecting it to configure their website. So please use what I'd call internet intelligence to help your domain go online. So I'm just going to put in a 192.162 address. Just to put that, is your domain used to send or receive email? You can say yes or no. I can say yes, and this gives you the mail server. So I'll say, okay, it's mail1.mysmtpservice.com. Once again, you'd use your own MX records that your mail server would provide you. And then if you had secondary or backup mail, you would say mail2.mysmtpservice.example.com. These are just examples. Once again, I doubt these domains even exist. If they do, then kudos, you get free advertising. And we can go to the next step. And it says, would you like to create SPF records? You can say yes, and this is the standard, what you want to do. You can modify it. And then, we actually had some changes in here. you actually have to type it in. So I'm just going to skip it. And then we get to the next piece. Is there any additional host names you'd like to add? And you can add these over here. You can say, server 1 points to 192.168.19.23, and you can add additional ones if you need to. And then you get next. And then it says, please review your whole configuration, and away you go. So now you're actually into your domain, and it now tells you these are the name servers that you've been delegated to use on the Constellix network. These 6 name servers represent the thousands of name servers we have around the world on our IPNEcast Plus network. Now, that is really designed for some more of the novice users to try to get you going, get you adding on those. It walks you through the process. What most people will do, though, is once you're in the dashboard, you just go right to add domain, right? And that's kind of the simple. So you can add up to 100 domains at a time here, and you can put in your different examples. So I'm going to call this my Wednesday example 1.com, right? And at this point, I can actually add 100 different domains if I wanted to, and I click save. Now the exact same thing, there's my name servers that have been delegated to me, and I can actually, these are the ones I want to give my registrar. Now for my account, I actually have some vanity name servers configured, so it's saying these are the ones you'd actually probably want to use. Those are some advanced options, but overall it's going to say this is what your domain is going to be using, and you want to first of all add your records into your domain, since I did not add any records at that time. And then once those records are added, I then want to go to the registrar and say use these name servers, right? So as you notice, there's a lot of other options though in the advanced options that we're going to kind of go through. So the first option is a tag. Now tagging your domain allows you to filter on domains, allows you to search on domains, allows you to categorize domains. It's not a security feature, it is a tagging feature where you can say, okay, I want to tag all domains like this and say these are my production domains, my marketing domains, my internal domains, etc. Global Traffic Director allows you to do more precise GeoDNS responses, where we actually allow you to set different configurations based upon where the name servers are located. GeoIP is also part of our GeoDNS product, and that enables you to actually make decisions based upon the querying client. So it's either going to be the resolving name server's IP address, or it's going to be the eDNS client subnet that the resolving name server passes for us. Or if you're using a resolving name server that doesn't follow RFCs, or likes to break the rules, they'll pass an appropriate IP that they think is adequate to represent the GeoIP. Tends not to be as accurate, but you have some of those resolving name servers out there that tend to break the rules. The next feature we have is a template. This is a very popular feature that we actually offered in our DNS Made Easy services. It allows you to create a nice set of records, and you apply them to a template. It's like a cookie cutter, and then you can apply these to your domain. So if you change the template, it changes all the records and all the domains that are applied to that template, locked to the template. The vanity name server is the feature that I talked about a little bit earlier. This allows you to rebrand our name servers, really popular with our web hosting companies. Obviously there's another video for that. There's another video for templates. There's extra videos we're going to have on Global Traffic Director and GeoIPs. And secondary DNS providers, this is a way for us to actually propagate the changes to these cloud providers. So we currently support, at the time of this video, Amazon Route 53, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure. And you could use DNS Made Easy as well. It wouldn't really be appropriate because it's on the same IPNEcast Plus network that we run. But what this feature allows you to do is if you make any changes to our control panel or API, which is, of course, is integrated with hundreds of different services that will allow you to deploy and customize your DNS, we'll make the necessary changes and API calls to these cloud providers to ensure that they have the exact same DNS configurations. Now, there are a lot of proprietary solutions that we offer within Constellix that are unique to Constellix that these other solutions do not provide. So they, of course, wouldn't be able to get those configurations. So that when you do those specific configurations, they'll say it's not compatible with those other services. And the last option we have here is how you want to get records into your domain right away at the time that you're adding the domain. So you could actually say, okay, I want to copy all the records from my one domain into this domain. So I can do my Wednesday 2 demo. You can tell today's Wednesday. That's why I'm putting the domain name Wednesdays and everything. And I could say, okay, I want to copy this from another domain that I have in the system. I could actually do it from a template that I have in the system already. Now, a nice feature we have is zone files. So you can actually choose the zone files you want to bring down inside of your account, and this would automatically put the domain name in there and just bring them all into the system. So that's a really helpful feature. The second feature we have is, or I could click on the same thing over and over again, is the AXFR. And so with the AXFR is that we'll do the normal secondary RFC compliant AXFR out to another name server, and we will say, give me all the records. And you're going to notice over here we mentioned some IPs you're going to want to use. These are the IPs you want to make sure that you let your primary name server to allow AXFRs out from. So we're going to make a request from these IPs and say, give us all the records, and then we're going to configure them within Constellix and deploy this. Once you do add a domain into Constellix, it is immediate, and all records, of course, you add are immediate. It goes across our thousands of name servers around the world. So those are the options to get your domain added into Constellix quicker. So obviously we have wizards, we have some more professional ways of doing it. We have ways of importing your records into Constellix. There's many different ways that we can go about. We'll have a lot of course, breakout videos regarding this. We'll do different breakout videos for everything. But this is just a good general overview of getting your domain into Constellix and getting you on board.